Title: The History of Buddhism. Introduction. Buddhism, one of the world's major religions, traces its origins to Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha. This script explores the historical development of Buddhism from its inception to its spread across the globe. Point 1. Early life of Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama was born around the 6th century BCE in Lumbini, now in Nepal. He belonged to a wealthy family and lived a sheltered life. Despite his privileged upbringing, Siddhartha was deeply affected by the suffering he observed in the world. Point 2. The awakening. At the age of 29, Siddhartha Gautama renounced his princely life and embarked on a spiritual quest to understand the nature of suffering and find a way to alleviate it. After years of meditation and ascetic practices, he attained enlightenment, Bodhi, under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. Title: The History of Buddhism. Introduction. Buddhism, one of the world's major religions, traces its origins to Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha. This script explores the historical development of Buddhism from its inception to its spread across the globe. Point 1. Early life of Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama was born around the 6th century BCE in Lumbini, now in Nepal. He belonged to a wealthy family and lived a sheltered life. Despite his privileged upbringing, Siddhartha was deeply affected by the suffering he observed in the world. Point 2. The awakening. At the age of 29, Siddhartha Gautama renounced his princely life and embarked on a spiritual quest to understand the nature of suffering and find a way to alleviate it. After years of meditation and ascetic practices, he attained enlightenment, Bodhi, under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. 6. Development of Buddhist philosophy. Over the centuries, Buddhist philosophy evolved, giving rise to diverse schools such as Zen, Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana, and Pure Land Buddhism. Each school emphasized different aspects of the Buddha's teachings and incorporated local beliefs and practices. Point 7. Decline in India and spread to Asia. By the 12th century CE, Buddhism declined in its land of origin, India, due to a variety of factors, including the decline of royal patronage and the revival of Hinduism and Islam. However, Buddhism continued to flourish in other parts of Asia, notably in China, Japan, Tibet, and Southeast Asia. Point 8. Buddhism in the modern world. In the 19th and 20th centuries, Buddhism began to spread to the West, gaining followers in Europe, North America, and beyond. Today, Buddhism is practiced by millions worldwide and continues to adapt to contemporary contexts while preserving its ancient traditions. Buddhism's history is a testament to its enduring appeal and adaptability. From its origins in ancient India to its global presence today, Buddhism has profoundly influenced countless lives with its teachings of wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. As Buddhism continues to evolve in the modern world, its core teachings remain a source of guidance and inspiration for people seeking spiritual fulfillment and understanding. Title: The Life Story of Gautama Buddha. Introduction. Gautama Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, led a remarkable life that continues to inspire millions around the world. This script narrates the key events from his birth to his passing, highlighting his profound impact on spiritual thought and practice. Point 1. Birth and early life. Siddhartha Gautama was born circa 563 BCE in Lumbini, now in Nepal, to King Suddhodana and Queen Maya. His birth was accompanied by auspicious signs and prophecies foretelling his future greatness. Raised in luxury, Siddhartha lived a sheltered life within the palace walls. Point 2. Marriage and renunciation. At the age of 16, Siddhartha married Princess Yasodhara, and they had a son named Rahula. Despite his privileged life, Siddhartha felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction and yearning to understand the nature of human suffering. At the age of 29, he made the fateful decision to leave behind his royal comforts in search of spiritual truth. The Great Renunciation. Under the cover of night, Siddhartha left the palace and his family, including his newborn son, to embark on a spiritual quest. He sought out renowned teachers and practiced severe asceticism for 6 years, hoping to find answers to the fundamental questions of existence. Point 4. Enlightenment. Bodhi, realizing that extreme asceticism was not the path to enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama decided to meditate under a Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. After days of deep meditation, he attained enlightenment, Bodhi, at the age of 35. He became the Buddha, the awakened one, and gained profound insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. 5. Teaching and establishment of Buddhism. After his enlightenment, the Buddha began to teach his insights to others. His teachings centered around the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, providing a practical guide for overcoming suffering and attaining enlightenment. He traveled widely across India, gathering disciples and establishing monastic communities, Sangha. Death, parinirvana at the age of 80. After a lifetime of teaching and guiding others on the path to liberation, the Buddha fell ill. He knew his end was near and gave his final teachings to his disciples. Surrounded by his followers, the Buddha passed into parinirvana, complete nirvana, in Kushinagar, India. His death marked the physical end of his life but not the end of his teachings, which continue to resonate with followers to this day. Gautama Buddha's life story is a testament to the transformative power of spiritual awakening and compassion. His teachings have profoundly influenced countless individuals and cultures across the globe, shaping the course of Buddhist philosophy and practice for over 2 millennia. Illness and preparation. In the town of Kushinagar, modern-day Kushinagar, India, the Buddha fell seriously ill. Knowing his end was near, he continued to impart wisdom and guidance to his disciples, preparing them for his impending departure from the earthly realm. 3. Final teachings. On the eve of his parinirvana, surrounded by a large assembly of monks, nuns, and lay followers, Gautama Buddha delivered his final teachings. He emphasized the impermanence of all things and the importance of striving diligently on the path towards liberation. 4. Attainment of parinirvana. On the full moon night of Vaisakha, in the year 483 BCE, according to traditional accounts, Gautama Buddha entered into deep meditation, samadhi. It was during this profound state that he attained parinirvana, complete nirvana or liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara. 5. The Great Departure. As dawn broke, word spread of the Buddha's passing. His disciples, overcome with grief yet steadfast in their practice, gathered around his peaceful form. According to legend, celestial beings and gods descended to pay homage to the enlightened 1.6. Funeral rites and disputes. The Buddha's body was prepared for cremation with great reverence and respect. However, disputes arose among his followers over the division of relics and his remains. Eventually, under the guidance of elder monks, the relics were distributed and enshrined in stupas across Asia, becoming objects of veneration and pilgrimage. 7. Legacy and impact. Gautama Buddha's death marked the end of an extraordinary life dedicated to the alleviation of suffering and the pursuit of enlightenment. His teachings, encapsulated in the Tripitaka, Pali Canon, continued to guide generations of practitioners on the Noble Eightfold Path to liberation. The death of Gautama Buddha, while marking the end of his physical presence, symbolizes the eternal truths he revealed, the impermanence of life, the interconnectedness of all beings, and the possibility of transcending suffering through wisdom and compassion. As Buddhists worldwide commemorate the parinirvana of Gautama Buddha, may his life and teachings inspire us to cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and peace in our own lives and communities. Title: The Impact of Buddhism on Society Today. Introduction. Buddhism, with its rich philosophical teachings and emphasis on compassion and mindfulness, continues to exert a profound influence on societies worldwide. This script explores the enduring impact of Buddhism in contemporary times across various aspects of society. 1. Mindfulness and mental well-being. In an increasingly fast-paced and stressful world, Buddhist practices such as mindfulness meditation have gained widespread recognition for their effectiveness in promoting mental well-being. From corporate settings to educational institutions and healthcare facilities, mindfulness techniques derived from Buddhist traditions are utilized to reduce stress, improve focus, and enhance overall emotional resilience. Ethical values and social justice. Buddhism emphasizes ethical values such as non-violence, ahimsa, compassion, and social justice. These principles have inspired individuals and organizations to advocate for human rights, environmental sustainability, and the welfare of marginalized communities. Buddhist-inspired activism promotes a more compassionate and equitable society, addressing issues ranging from poverty and inequality to environmental degradation. Point 3. Interfaith dialogue and harmony. Buddhism encourages dialogue and mutual understanding among different religious traditions. Interfaith initiatives and dialogues foster greater tolerance, respect, and cooperation among diverse religious communities. In multicultural societies, Buddhist teachings on tolerance and acceptance contribute to social cohesion and harmony. Point 4. Environmental stewardship. Buddhist teachings emphasize interconnectedness and the sacredness of all life forms. This perspective has influenced environmental movements advocating for sustainable practices, conservation of natural resources, and protection of biodiversity. Buddhist communities and organizations actively engage in environmental stewardship efforts, promoting a harmonious relationship between humanity and the natural world. 5. Education and cultural heritage. Buddhism's profound impact on art, literature, and cultural heritage continues to enrich global society. Buddhist art and architecture, from ancient stupas to intricate mandalas, serve as expressions of spiritual devotion and cultural identity. Educational institutions worldwide incorporate Buddhist philosophy and history into their curricula, fostering a deeper understanding of Asian cultures and philosophical traditions. Point 6. Global outreach and humanitarian efforts. Buddhist organizations and monastic communities engage in humanitarian activities, providing aid and support to communities affected by poverty, natural disasters, and conflict. Through initiatives such as disaster relief, healthcare services, and education programs, Buddhists exemplify compassionate action and altruism on a global scale. In conclusion, Buddhism's impact on contemporary society transcends geographical boundaries and cultural differences. Its teachings on mindfulness, ethical values, social justice, environmental stewardship, and cultural heritage continue to inspire individuals and communities worldwide to cultivate compassion, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings. As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, may the principles of Buddhism guide us towards creating a more compassionate, harmonious, and sustainable global society.